What's up, you guys? I've been playing a few Blitz games this morning. Is it still morning? I don't know. Only had a few hours sleep, dropping daughter off at airport. But I've got a lovely little Rousseau game to share with you if you're following the Kruger repertoire. Okay, so we've got the Italian and the Rousseau Gambit. And here we have Rousseau Accepted. My opponent's rated 1329 in Blitz, okay? You advance the pawn with tempo on the knight. Queen here is not great, you just meet it with queen. So here my opponent probably does the right thing and retreats the knight. Now, here comes the critical point in the game. Because the temptation is to play knight to f6 to prevent the queen check, okay? But there's a little bird telling me that d5 hitting the bishop is the right move. So I play d5 and allow queen h5 check. Now, I play g6, so now I'm attacking two pieces. But white can take here with the threat then of moving the pawn with a discovered check. So he plays this. Now I have the resource, knight f6, hitting the queen, which would be the checking piece. Okay, so if pawn takes, for example, I just win the queen. Okay, if pawn comes here, I just take the pawn, right? Or if pawn comes there, I can't really win the queen because he just takes my rook and gets another queen. So he moves his queen now. And now we've got an interesting position because his intention, I think, is actually g7. The knight's defended. He can take here and rook recaptures. That's fine. Or even takes and knight recaptures, could end up trading queens. Remember, his bishop is still hanging. I think that's his intention. So I decide that I can actually grab the bishop. And now he pushes the pawn. Now I take the pawn, takes, and rook to here. Okay, so I'm not up a piece, right? However, so just compare this situation, right? I've got two pieces developed. I've got nice central pawns, right? But this is the really key thing in this opening, I think, in so many ways. I take the bishop, I give up my own bishop, I move my rook here, and that comes with tempo. Now, material is roughly equal. White's actually up a pawn, but in terms of development, it's gone since he lost his bishop. So his queen's under threat now, right? Queen cannot retreat on this file, so I think h6 is the only safe place for the queen. What's more, my bishop's ready to fly out into the game, defended by the rook. Okay, the queen defends the knight, knight defends the pawn, knight also defends the rook. So actually the queen's defense of the knight is a real anchor here. It's very, very important. So he has to go to h6. Out comes bishop, and now suddenly, look, it's like here comes everything, right? It's all going to come at you now, white. And this is why the d5 hit the bishop is the correct move, I think. Because even if white does manage to win a pawn or somehow get a slight bit of material up, it doesn't matter because of all this that's going on. So he kicks my bishop. I retreat to h5, still defended by the knight. Okay, and I know that if he wants to kick me again, I'll just come back again. Right, now he develops a knight. I bring the bishop back here to defend this pawn because... And I had to calculate this for 30 seconds, right? Knight's attacking that, but this knight here is a bit of a linchpin. It's defending that, and that. And it's the only defender of this pawn. So if he takes, I can't recapture, because I could just lose my bishop. Or lose my pawn, right? But probably the bishop, with check. So I can't recapture with the knight. So dropping the bishop back down to here does a couple of things. It defends the pawn with the bishop. So now the pawn's defended twice. This pawn is now defended twice. And the bishop itself is now on a protected square. So that's a nice kind of synchronizing move. A coordinating move, right? So his other knight comes out, because obviously he's denied the natural f3. And I had a couple of ideas here. Part of me wanted to put my queen... I was thinking about this move earlier on, but now his knight comes out, that's not playable. But I had decided that queen e7 was better anyway. defends, right? Also, it's in line with the king. Just a general, layering of potential threats. Now he castles and I castle long. And look at, I've got everything out. Everything's out now. What's more, I've got bloody rook in line with this king. So now, queen retreats. Queen's got to get somewhere more useful, right? But he's still got a problem. Still got an undeveloped bishop, unconnected rooks. And I have no g-pawn, thank you very much. I've got a rook in line with the king. So it's just time to throw everything at my opponent. Knight h5 hits the queen again and starts to creep in towards his position now. So what I'm thinking is something like bishop here, take on there, taking advantage of this pin. But now the queen's actually defending that pawn, which is a bit frustrating. So move the bishop there anyway. And now, although it's not an immediate winning move, it's a threat and it's a tie for white. White now has to keep the queen on here, but can't go there and can't go there and can't go there. So the queen is now stuck on that square defending that stupid pawn. Okay, so I've tied the queen down with the threat of that move, even though I can't play it, if you know what I mean. Which I'm liking. Okay, knight now comes in, and he's got ideas of capturing here maybe, but it is defended by my knight, so I'm not too worried about that. So slide the queen across to g7, and we are lining up threats. So there's an immediate checkmate threat here, which must be dealt with. Knight moves into the way. And now I'm looking at like sacrifices. Can I take there with my bishop? Can I take with my knight? Not really. None of that actually really works. So I kick his knight, and for some reason he grabs my bishop and falls to an immediate mate. But that's not the point. The point of the game is this situation here, this critical move. So let me just check my Rousseau Study and just double check that. Okay, so we've got accepted. There, accepted. We push and he retreats. Okay. Yeah. So in my notes it says this prevents queen h5 check. However, the engine says immediate d5 hitting the bishop is the better move. Okay, so here on the engine, knight to f6 is 0.5 in black's favour, but d5 is the better move. And I do actually have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to promote that variation. Yeah. So d5 engine recommendation. So what happened in the game? Let's see. Let's just put my... So in the game... now we have queen out. Okay, interesting. So do we have that in the study? Right, so the engine here... This is king e7 is the better move. Maintain the pressure on the bishop. So why not g6? g6 has been played, but tends not to be best. So I need to remember this. Okay, it's king e7. King e7 is the move. So there you go. Right. So you see what I'm doing. I'm not really interested in sitting and trying to learn and memorize like a book. All of these things. I play a game, and then I just try and add one scale, one little layer of knowledge. So here, if queen check, and black is slightly better, right? But queen h5 check is the best move here for white. Okay, king e7. Let's just see how it goes. There's a few moves. Queen g5 check can be met with a knight block, yeah? Knight to f6. And black is better, actually, almost 0.2 better. We're still hitting the bishop. We've got stuff out on the board. The king is actually relatively safe at this point in time. So what if they retreat the bishop now? What do we do? Again, knight f6 hits the queen. Queen will retreat, okay? And then we take that pawn. Lovely. What's not to like? Or there's this one, bishop b5, which is dubious. Again, knight to f6, so there you go. There's the thread. queen retreats, and we are better. So there you go. And that's the limit of what I'm prepared to study at my level. But enjoy myself. Hope you are too. Thanks for watching. See you soon.